Okay, so now, why isn't it? Okay, guys, just give me a second. I'm still trying to work out some bugs. Okay. I'm live here. Okay, but I can't for some reason. Why can't I go live? Oh, I know why. I know why. Hold on. Hold on. I think I know why. Give me 1 second. Let me see. All right, let's try this now. Okay, so that's on. Okay. All right. Let me see. Create, go live. Webcam. Okay, next. Okay. Okay, so why is that not going? Okay. All right. Okay, so let me close this one out. All right. Let me see if it'll work here on my phone. Maybe that might be the problem. I don't know. YouTube. I'm not worried about that right now. Okay, switch. After the watch. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so let me turn it off. I don't know what the world's going on. Okay, hold on. What's happening? Whoever that is, somebody let me know if you can hear me. I should know. Okay, so if that's working there. Okay, that's on Ready4AllTravel. Okay, Ready4AllTravel is up and running. But I just saw streaming for after the watch. Okay. Let's see something right here. Move that over here. YouTube. Hmm. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's switch channels. Watch. Okay. Okay. Now that should fix it. And yeah. Bam. All right, there we go. All right, now we cooking. All right. We cooking now. We cooking. Okay. All right, we cooking now. We're live. We're going live. We're live. Give me a second, guys. I'm still working out some other stuff. All right. Let's see what's going on here. I apologize for the delay. Okay, so Ready4AllTravel. Okay, that person just left, so it's fine. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. We going live. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Let me get the music right. Let me see what. Okay, hold on. Get my music right.
Please leave your message for 33.
Okay. Go here. All right, what's happening? What's happening? I'm still working out the bugs, so I mean, people are popping in and popping out because that's what they do. But it's not a big deal. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna get it right. Still a work in progress. Still a work in progress, but it's getting there. Let me get the music running for you guys. Okay, there we go. There we go. Who I got on here tonight? Okay, somebody from After the Watch just logged in. Hit me in the chat. Let me know who it is. Talk to me. I'm still working out some stuff. I'm getting the music right now. Give me a second. That's what we do. We having fun. Okay, skip. Trying to get the mood right. I'm trying to get the mood right. Okay, people jumping in and jumping out. Patience, young people, patience. There we go. All right. All right, who is that over there on Ready4AllTravel? Hit me in the chat. Let me know who it is. Talk to me. I got some stuff I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to do something new tonight, something fresh, but I need some feedback. Talk to me. Can you hear me? Is it clear? Is it whack? Tell me what it is. I'm multitasking. Is the music too loud? Because what I'm planning on doing is I got a lot of good information to share. And like I say, for Ready4AllTravel page, you guys have been on for about 10 minutes. I got one person logged in. After the watch, I just got it up and running because this is the new format that I'm going to. I'm going back to Free Fun Friday. But I need some feedback. I need you guys to let me know if you can hear me or not. Like I said, I'm trying to get everything running correctly. So before I go into any details on either channel, I'm just double checking everything. Okay. So it looks like the chat is working. Okay. Yeah. Friday night. Just got back off the cruise, off of vacation. I know. Why is he eating at the same time trying to go live? Multitask. Because like I said, most of the time when I do go live, nobody tunes in. They end up watching the video after the fact, which is fine. You know, and I do appreciate it. You can watch it now, you can watch it later. It's not a big deal. You know, it's just the fact that I want to try to increase the program. Give me a second. There we go. Lights, camera, action. All right. So what I'm doing, as you can tell, I'm trying new things out, guys. I'm trying to work it out to see, you know, what piques you guys' interest. So now I'm running two webcams. I'm running a webcam from a laptop right here, which actually has, I think Ready4AllTravel is here on the laptop. And after the watch is running from my other webcam up top. So that's why if you see me look up here, look down here, because I'm trying to connect to everybody at the same time. So I'm running both laptops. I need some feedback, guys. You know, on both channels, I use the AI to generate the news, you know, and I get the positive feedback after the show, you know, but it's the problem that I'm having with people sharing, you know, people subbing and sharing. Like they'll watch the videos, tell me how good it was, and then I ask the simple question, did you share it? Nope. Have you subbed? Well, I watch it over here and I watch it over there. That's not doing the page any justice, you know. So I'm not going to sit here and vent and go off. I'm just going to ask you guys, you know, hey, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. You know, the funny thing about it is I love my family. And I've been trying to, you know, promote with my family. But I had a situation that happened that kind of, you know, pissed me off a little bit. You know, I'm just going to keep it real. I keep 100. After the Watch and Ready for All Travel. It kind of pissed me off. We was at a family gathering, and I'm sitting here listening to my family members, and I'm pretty sure it happens to a lot of YouTubers. You know, I'm listening to my family members talk about how they subscribe to this channel, how they subscribe to this person, and this person all of a sudden has blown up and doing wonderful things and big things. And you have an actual YouTuber in your family. You know, is my shit the best? Probably not. But the support, you know, that shit hurt. I'm gonna keep it real. That's why I'm talking the way I'm talking. It really does. You know, to know that I'm out here doing everything that I can and I can get them to even watch. They say they watch, but they don't leave a comment. You know, we need that feedback. How can I get better? How can I grow? Even if it's, you know, perceived to be negative, it's feedback nonetheless. That's what's going to help me grow. That's going to help me to say, okay, I shouldn't talk about this. I should move on to something else to generate that interest. If it's whack, tell me I'm whack. If you want to hear about something in particular, tell me what you want to hear. And then that'll help guide me to give you that proper content that's like, you know, that's going to be good. See, like right now, like my mentor asked me, he said, well, actually, it wasn't even my mentor. It was one of the other guys that's been mentored as well. He said, how are you able to talk to the screen when nobody's watching? And my answer to that is, I just do it. And the reason why I just do it is because I know they're going to watch later. But that's the problem. They're watching later, but they're not subscribing. They're not paying attention to it now. They're watching it later at their convenience, which is fine. But I don't know. I'm rambling right now. I'm rambling. And I don't want to ramble, okay? Because like I said, I'm trying this new format. I'm going live on After the Watch. I'm going live on Ready4AllTravel. Because, yes, I am a travel agent. And the irony of it is that by me being in the military, if you watch the After the Watch video, see, someone popped in and popped right back out. Not a big deal, though. But if you watch my After the Watch videos, it's chronologically showing the progress of my naval career, okay? Well, one of the situations that happened, like in the very, very first video that I posted, was I was on watch, and I told myself that I was going to, well, a cruise ship rolled past our warship. I'm not going to go deep into it, but make a long story short, I said I'm going to get on one of those cruise ships one day and see what that life is all about. Well, lo and behold, after my naval career, I ended up getting on that cruise ship, okay? But the process for me to get on the cruise ship, I ended up meeting my mentor for YouTube, and they happen to be travel agents, okay? And they did such a fantastic job. Now, I'm realizing that being a travel agent is definitely hard work because you have to have the passion to do it. But throughout that process, it energized me to become a travel agent. And now I'm a travel agent, okay? So one piggyback off of the other. So I said, well, why not I just do both of them at the same time? Now, was that a smart move on my end? No, because I need to focus niche-wise. I need to focus on one avenue. But like I say, they both kind of coincide with one another, you see, because if I wasn't in the military at the time, saw that cruise ship, made that determination that that's what I wanted to do one day, was get on that cruise ship, in turn, ended up talking to my travel agent, who done such a fantastic job, mentored me into YouTubing and becoming a travel agent. See how it all connected? So that's how it happened. All right. Now, I normally, I don't promote either channel while I'm at work because I also have my own, not only am I a travel agent, I also have my own rideshare service, Ready Riders. Okay, Ready4All Ready Riders. Okay, so with that being said, I I never really promote say, hey, except for my Reddit riders, I ask them the same questions that I ask you guys. Have you liked, have you shared, have you watched, and stuff like that. But I never go like to a random person and ask that question. Okay. Until today. Because on top of all of that, within my free time, I got to stay busy, guys. Okay. It is what it is. If I'm not doing YouTube, if I'm not, putting together travel packages for people for their vacation, then I'm doing Ready Riders and I'm taking people to work and help fulfilling their obligations and needs as well. When I have a free window, I also do DoorDash. You know, I dash. Not all the time, but every now and then. And at this particular day, it kind of the spirit kind of moved because I had a family member, a friend of the family that was near and dear to me passed today. And not today, I take that back. It was last week. His funeral was 2 days ago. Leroy, my man. Douglas Leroy Crenshaw. Love him to death. That's my guy. He's going on to glory. Okay. So, but what happened was during that time, when we was at his service, one of the people that stood up, I think it was one of the preachers that stood up, and they were saying, do you or have you made a difference in life, in this life? Have you made a difference in this life? And they was giving reflection on what Cheeks did. That was his nickname. We called him Cheeks. I called him Cheeks anyway, and it kind of stuck. Been knowing each other since the 10th grade in high school. All right. But so they was talking about what Cheeks have done in life to make a difference in people's lives. And I started thinking to myself, I was like, yes, I've made a difference, good and bad in people's lives. I've done a lot of more good than bad, that's just life. You atone for your mistakes, you apologize, and then you move on. It's up to the people to accept your apologies. And I have apologized. And if you thought I haven't, I'm apologizing to everybody that I've done wrong. I apologize. That's all we can do. We got to keep moving. But anyway, I digress. So with that being said, I thought back. I said, have you made a difference? Have you openly made a difference? And it ate at me for a while. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yes, but I can do more. Being a travel agent is helping people, yes, but I can do more. Talking about the Navy and my experiences, yes, I'm making a difference, but I can do more. And I happened to be dashing at the time today, and I walked inside, of all places, Taco Bell. And when I went in Taco Bell, there was this young man, very, young man. I guess he was ordering some food or hanging out or whatever the case may be. And something just like said, make a difference, And I was like, how? Talk to the young man, see where his mind is at. And I was like, okay. So I happened to look down, and when I looked down, because I had on some I forgot what they're called. It's the jellies, I guess. I don't know what they call nowadays, but I had those type of shoes on, and it's raining here where I'm at, so it was kind of wet and slippery. And I happened to look down, and that young man had the same type of shoes on that I had on, and that was my spark. That was my spark. I said, man, I've been slipping and sliding all day. I don't know why I decided to wear these particular shoes. And he started laughing. He was like, he was like, yeah, I've been slipping and sliding myself. And I said, yeah, man, it's crazy, ain't it? And so we had that awkward silence because I'm still waiting on the DoorDash pickup. And that awkward silence, came over it. And like I said, something told me, said, talk to the young person, talk to the young man. So I said, hey, do you watch YouTube? And he was like, from time to time. I said, oh, okay, cool. I said, because I didn't have this hat on or this shirt. Obviously, I was working. This is my relaxation, clothes that I put on. But I had on my Navy hat, that shows I'm a retired Navy veteran. I had that hat on, and I said, do you watch YouTube channel? Do you watch YouTube? And he was like, yeah, from time to time. I said, well, I got my own YouTube channel. It's called After the Watch. Because he's young, I didn't want to talk about Ready4AllTravel to the young guy because obviously, I'm not saying that he couldn't afford it. I'm just saying that wasn't the vibe that I was getting at that particular time. So I said, yeah. So I spoke to him about After the Watch, and so he was in, it piqued his curiosity. I was like, yeah. He was like, well, how long was you in the Navy? I said, I was in the Navy for 20 years. He said, oh yeah. He said, well, I got family members that's in the Navy also, and he started naming off the places where they were at, which coincidentally, I've been there. So also previously, while I was in the Navy, I was a recruiter. So what I was doing is called a brush buy. You're not really trying to sell anything. You're just talking in general to pique their interest, okay? It's called a brush buy. So within our 5-6 minute conversation, he's asking legitimate questions about the Navy in particular. And I'm answering those questions and he ended up logging on. So young man, if you ever see this video, because out of all the conversation, I forgot to get his name, so I don't know his name. But I want you to definitely, if you log on and you happen to watch this video and you hear what I'm talking about, I want you to hit me in the inbox, with your name. And I want to continue on that conversation because contrary to your friends that actually work at the Taco Bell, I see potential in you, young man. I really do. And I can see you doing great things in this world with the proper guidance. Not saying that I'm going to be, your mentor or anything like that. I'm just saying what I'm basically trying to get to is that don't let what they're doing reflect upon you. Okay, because as you saw how they was interrupting, they thought it was funny and everything, but it was kind of childish what they was doing. But you didn't fall into it. You see, you still maintain your composure and carried on the conversation with me. And that showed a lot right there. You see, they showed a maturity that you had versus what they was exuding. And they actually are at work and they're supposed to be very professional, but they weren't professional at all. You see the difference? So that's the point I'm making. I'm not going to get on a soapbox about it. I hope you get a chance to watch this video, or if you log on, hopefully you get a chance to, tune in and watch this particular video because you said you were going to watch it. And I think you're a young man of your word. So when you see this video, hit me in the chat and just hit me. And I will give you my information so then that way we can continue on with the conversation and see exactly what it is that you want to do in this world. And hopefully I'll be able to help you or guide you in that direction where you can make that difference in life. Okay? Because like I said before, I don't see your future being their future. Okay? I see that you could be, and that goes for everybody out there. You could be anything that you want to be. Hell, I didn't even think that I could do YouTube. Okay, I didn't even know. Once upon a time, I didn't even know how to download or upload to Google Drive. I didn't, because it wasn't something that I needed to do in my life at that particular time. But once I started this, and I started having to realize that I need to upload videos and upload and download and copy and paste and make all of this stuff, that's when I realized that I didn't know anything. You see, but with perseverance and help, like if you go back and watch my early videos from when I first started, because my mentor also said the only way that you're going to get better, you just got to hit play. And it's true. So if you go back to my first videos and you see those, they are, I'm not going to call them garbage. I'm not going to call them trash. I'm going to say they were a learning curve. Okay. Because if you go back from there and then you watch more recent videos, am I where I need to be? No. But am I going to get there? Yes. Why? Because I hold myself to a different standard. Okay. I put myself in the category of people that's been doing YouTube for 5 years or so. Okay. They have thousands upon thousands of subs. Okay. I've been doing this for 9 months, well, 10 months, almost a year. Okay. That's it. So to see where I am now, yeah, are there people that become sensations overnight? Bam. Yeah. But I hear a lot of the more popular YouTubers say it take a year to 2 years before they generate that traction, you see. And it's more or less like when you got a video that you think is trash and it's not going to do anything. That's what one of them said. They was about to delete it. And like the next day or the day after, it just caught fire. And they've been on that trajectory ever since. I haven't got that traction yet. Is it discouraging? Yeah, this right here, case in point. On this live, seeing people pop in and pop out, pop in and pop out. That's discouraging. But at the same time, is resolved too, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, even if you're popping in and then popping right back out, you're still popping in. Now, my job is to get you to pop in and stay in and listen to what this valuable information that I have to share. Like I said, this is Free Fun Friday. So I'm not going to be talking about Ready4AllTravel, how I can get you this package, how the drink package work and all of that stuff like that. I'm not going to be talking about after the watch how this happened on this day and that day. We're just having a Free Fun Flow Friday, Free Fun Friday. And I'm going to do that every Friday. So I'm going live every Friday. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to slow down on the AI generated news for both channels. Because yes, does it work? Does people get the information? Yes. But there's so much negativity and drawback. Excuse me. There's so much negativity and drawback towards the AI community right now that I've literally watched my viewership. Excuse me. There's so much negativity and drawback to AI that I've watched because people think it's fake and it's fake news and all of that stuff, even though I do the research and then I generate it and give it to them so it can upload. And so everything that you're listening to is actually coming from me and my research. I even say that in the beginning, even though I'm AI generated, I've been fact checked by Richard. Okay. I do that every single time before I post anything. But I'm going to pull back from the video because I watched it slowly dwell down because people want to hear me and see me versus and I've gotten that feedback from several people. You know, it's good information, but it's not you. I get it. You know, you want to see this ugly mug. So here you go. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to be doing more reaction videos. And I'm like, especially for the travel page, I'm going to be doing Ready4AllTravel. Okay, so let me say this first. After the watch people, I'm talking to you now. Go over to Ready4AllTravel, like, share, and subscribe. Ready4AllTravel people, go over to After the Watch, like, share, and subscribe. Okay? Now, with that being said, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to stop it. I'm just going to dial it back a little bit. So it won't be any more AI generated videos in the near future. It's going to be more geared towards reaction videos, especially for after the, for both channels, actually. I'm going to be doing more AI. I'm not AI. I'm going to be doing more reaction videos. And then on top of the reaction videos, I'm going to be doing more interviews. That's right. I'm going to start interviewing people. I'm going to interview people from the travel, you know, and let them talk about their travel experiences. I'm going to interview people from After the Watch, my past shipmates, sailors that's currently in or in the military in general. They're served in the Army, Coast Guard, Marines, whatever. I'm gonna interview them, talk to them about their careers and stuff like that, give their feedback. And I'm going to share vital information as it goes on, because especially right now, things change constantly. What's going on, especially in our armed forces. Okay. Now, do I agree? Some, yes. Do I disagree? Some, yes. I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. I'm an independent. I'm a free thinker. I think, but I also pay attention to what's best interest for my family and for me. Okay. That's how I vote. I don't vote down party lines because that's ignorance. Okay. Not everybody that's Democrat are good. Not everybody that's Republican are bad. Okay. So you need to, and that's my little political soapbox, because two things that I learned while I was in the military: you don't talk about religion and you don't talk about politics. Why? Because you're not going to change anybody's views on either topic. Okay. Everybody has their beliefs. Okay. Now, as a free thinker, you can listen to what those beliefs are. And if it coincides with what you feel, or if it's enlightening, then you can gravitate towards that. But at the same time, you recognize BS when you hear it. Okay. And when you hear it, you say, okay, I acknowledge that's your views, and leave it at that. You're not going to change anyone's opinion, and especially in religion or politics for that matter. So it's best to gain that knowledge and that perspective of that individual, and then carry on smartly. Okay? Because I used to fall for that trap all the time. It's and it's because of this person, and that person did this stupid, and that person did that right, and this person, and you're stupid for believing into that. That was totally wrong. Totally wrong. Okay? What I should have been like was, I understand what you're saying. I don't agree with your viewpoint, but I respect the fact that you have that viewpoint. Now, if you are a R word, and you're just anti everybody, then I'm not going to float with you anyway. I'm just going to walk away. Okay. But if you have legitimate views on certain topics, I'm going to hear you out, because, maybe that might be something that I didn't consider or think about. So everybody should keep an open mind, and understand. That's why I told you I don't affiliate with anybody. Do I tend to vote more democratically? Yes. But there are views that the Republicans have that I agree with wholeheartedly. And I'm going to give you one of them. I'm going to share this one with you real quick. Second Amendment. I am a card-carrying member, and I agree with the Second Amendment. Everybody in America, around the world, have the right to bear arms. The only thing that I say, though, with proper training. Okay? With proper training. Because if you're not trained, you shouldn't be out here with those weapons. But if you're properly trained and you understand right from wrong, and you have a mental or psychological evaluation, you can carry a bazooka as far as I care. You can ride up and down in the Sherman tank. I wouldn't care. But at the same time, as long as you're properly trained, that's the most important aspect. So yes, I do. I believe in number 2. That Second Amendment, I believe in it all day long. Okay? And that's more of a Republican view. Okay? But like I said, with addendums. Okay? Those addendums mean you have to be properly trained, psychological background check, and make sure you ain't. And that's not just a one-time deal. We're talking. I say that has to be done every 48 months. That's every 2 years for you guys, or 24 months. Every 2 years, you got to have a psychological evaluation. Make sure you ain't lost your damn mind within the time from when you was qualified to seeing if you disqualified. Hell, when you're in the military, you got to do a physical readiness test. And that's another thing. Well, I still call him Secretary of Defense, but he wanted to be Secretary of War. When he said that everybody should be physically fit, I believe that all day long. Because when I was in the Navy, I saw fat people ridiculing me because I may have failed to run this particular time. Now, there's a reason why I failed to run. Maybe I, had a little too much to drink the night before and forgot that I had that test that next day and just was too tired to make the run. Okay? It happens. Okay? It happens. But when you got somebody that's like way out of standards, and they have the audacity to try to talk about you and then put that on your evaluation, I don't think that's right. Regardless of the fact that, because see, now when I was in, everybody had an age group that they had to run in. Okay, so if you was in your 30s and 40s, you had 15 minutes to run a mile and a half, 18 minutes to run a mile and a half, damn near a year to run a mile and a half. Okay, but when you're 19, you got 7 minutes to run. I'm just making up numbers, guys. But you see the comparison. So now you got this fat, out of shape person that's running, and I'm not criticizing or disparaging people that's out of shape. Hell, I'm out of shape today, but I'm not in the military right now. Okay, but the point is, if you're serving our country, from the top person, including the president, to the person that's in the MEP station right now about to join, everybody should meet their qualifications, that standard. Now, at the same time, it's a contradiction. Yeah, somebody that's in their 30s and 40s shouldn't have to run a 9-minute mile. But at the same time, they should be within body fat standards, though. So you could take 18 minutes to run it, but you should also be not wearing a 52 waist. Okay? So I agree with that. I do. I agree with that. I hope that makes sense. So that's why I say, and that's just an example of, as an independent, my views on certain topics. All right, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But like I said, I'm just enjoying the flow. It's Free Fun Friday. We just doing the thing, hopefully some people will come on and start talking and stuff. I'm having dinner. It was a late night. Well, here it is. What time is it? 8 o'clock. I'm talking about late. But that's because I still get up at dark 30. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 a.m. every day, most days anyway. Because like I said, I have my own rideshare service and people have to go to work and I can take them to work. Let me check some stuff out right quick. Okay. But yeah, that's for the most part is why I decided to change the format. Because like I said, I'm not going to stop doing this. I'm just, like I said, I'm tweaking things. I enjoy, let me rephrase that. I enjoy being a travel agent because it gives me the ability to help people and help them fulfill their vacation needs without going through the headache or making those mistakes. Like, when I first went on a cruise, I purchased a drink package, for an example. I wasted money, and that was almost $1,000, because it sounds good on paper. Drink package, oh, you can drink. Yeah. But in actuality, you're going to do that the first night, and you're going to be hungover day two, and you're not going to be able to drink because, and on average, and this is just, like I said, on average, you have to drink about 8 to 9 drinks per day for the duration of the cruise for you to be compensated for the money that you're going to spend on the drink package. So it's weird. And I'm not a heavy drinker, but at the same time, I wanted to do it just to see how it's, if it's possible. Did I do it? Yeah. Did I enjoy my cruise? No. I was hung over most of the time, and I couldn't really enjoy myself because my body was just, I'm not 22-year-old anymore. Okay. I can't, no. So, but like I said, being a travel agent, I kind of help people and break stuff down for them so they can understand within their budget how they can maximize their vacation and still not break the bank. Okay, and not just cruises. I do hotel resorts. You name it, I can do it. Rental cars, except for airlines. I'm not touching airlines, and that's a long story. Hit me in the inbox, and I tell you the reason why I don't do airlines. Airlines is a touchy. Is mm-mm, mm-mm. But anyway, with that being said, that's pretty much why I became a travel agent. Now, as far as after the watch, why I decided to start documenting my naval experience, because I can't really document my entire life, obviously, you know, but I can talk about the things that, like, one day my kids will find it interesting and want to go back and find out what their dad, why he is the way he is, and the things and his beliefs. Maybe one day they'll find their interest and decide to actually view, as well, some of the stuff, because I'm saving the juicy stuff for the membership. So I'm just talking about a lot of the stuff. It's called After the Watch for a reason, because it happened after the watch. I don't talk about what goes on while on watch. I don't talk about that because that's sensitive information that I can't divulge that to this day. Even though I don't hold a clearance anymore, I still refuse to share that information because, for one, they're still my shipmates out there. You see, and they're so right now at this time, somebody is actually on watch right now defending this country. Okay, so why would I share that and divulge that information for them to become vulnerable? No, not going to happen. All right, so After the Watch talks about my journey, okay, but mostly after the watch. And it's for prosperity because maybe my kids don't want to watch it. Maybe they think it's boring or stupid or whatever the case may be. One day they may have children, okay? And now I might not be here. And then they'll be able to, like, they're like, I got a granddaughter. When she get old enough, maybe she want to watch this and see what Papa was all about. And then when she has kids one day, oh, great, Papa, and then they'll get a chance to see. So imagine if you could go back in history. Like, some of us have the ability to know our lineage, okay? And they could go back to Roots days and Kunta Kinte and Chicken George and all of that stuff. And even on, the Caucasian side of the family, they could chase their back to Ireland or back to Europe, or even Latinos, they could go back to, Mexico and go back here, but they could trace their lineage. African Americans, for the most part, we don't have that ability. And we know why. There's no need to beat a dead horse on that. But if somebody takes the time to start, like, I wish I had a dream or a thought process that I wanted to document my grandparents, and find out about my great grandparents and then their grandparents. You see, and I wanted to record that, but at the time I didn't know how to do it, because I was going to tape recorder and that would have worked. But the technology, like internet and stuff like that, wasn't readily available at that particular time. And since they're gone to glory, I can't hear their voice anymore. I mean, I can hear their voice in my mind, but it's nothing like if I could just, like, hit play and see them and hear them and still be able to enjoy that. So that was the reason why I decided to start documenting my military career, so that my great, 4, 5, 6 generations down the road, hopefully, they could come back and look at this and see what their great Papa was all about, if we're still around. I mean, the way things are going, who knows? But that was one of the reasons why, on top of all of the other reasons, that I wanted to also document these things. And it gives them the ability to know who they are, gives them the ability to know where they come from, it gives them the ability to reflect because, like, you know, they'll be like, oh wow, that's where my cheekbones came from. Oh wow, that's where these fat fingers came from, and stuff like that, you know, or basketball skills and abilities and stuff like that, or football, whatever it is. You know, they could look back at this and kind of get a reflection on who they are, where they're going, and not just from speculation. You know, because people could talk. You know, what they say, the history is written. How's it go? It says history is written from the victor, okay, and not the defeated. So it's always going to be told in their perspective, okay. But now, like, let's say, give you an example. Let's say you're trying to learn about me, and you ask a person that really didn't like me, okay. They're not going to tell you all the good stuff that I did. They're just going to really reflect and harp on most of the stuff that I did wrong. Okay. And then that's going to give you a view of me as being that type of person. But in actuality, I'm more than that. Okay. I'm more than that. So now you can get that information from that particular person and then ask that particular person. And then you can hear from the horse's mouth also at the same time. So I encourage everybody, even if you're not capable or passionate enough to do a YouTube videos and stuff like that, you can do, like I said, a tape recorder and just record your voice and just talk about general things, you know, and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you guys something. When my grandbaby was born, man, that changed me. You know, okay, let me explain the reason why I say it like that, because I've been a little tough on my kids because I wanted to raise them the right way. I wanted them to know what right and wrong was, and there's no confusion to that, okay? But I always heard that once you become a grandparent, that life changes, and they was not lying. It's true. Like when I was having, you know, kids, I watched my parents go from the strict disciplinarians to metamorphosized into, let that baby do whatever that baby want to do. Huh, baby, get some more candy. I mean, overnight, bam. And it was the same way. When my granddaughter was born, something just rushed over me. I kid you not. It just rushed over me. And I was like, wow, I am a papa now. Actually, I got the shirt on. What did it say? Sexy papa. You see that? She did that. She did that. And it was and now is she off the hook? She is off the hook. But love her to death. You see, they're coming home. They're coming here soon. But the point is that prosperity-wise is the reason why I decided, on top of all of the other things, I decided to do YouTube as well. So she can go back and watch these videos. Her kids can go and watch these videos and hear from the horse's mouth. Okay. And that's what it's all about. You know. So yes, am I helping people with the travel? Am I documenting our vacations? Yes. Am I telling good stories about my time in the military? Yes. But the ultimate reason why I do what I do is for my lineage. Okay. So do I want a million subs? Of course. Do I want to see 100,000, 5,000 views? Of course. Do I want to see 900 thumbs ups? Sure. But at the same time, if my grandbaby see this, she would know that Papa love her to death. And she can always go back and watch this video time and again and again and again and again. And that's the reason why I do it. Make sense? All right. I didn't mean to get down that path, but, you know, I am emotional, you know, like I said before. So, I don't ramble a lot, but I just wanted to share that with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the new format. This is how we're going to do things. Every Friday, I'm not going to say every Friday at 7 o'clock because I don't know what time it's going to be when I do go Free Fun Friday. But I will be going Free Fun Friday. Every Friday. Will I be eating? Probably not. But if I get off late, I will be. Will I be having the beverage of my choice? Probably not. But if I do, then I will be. Will I be sharing vital information? Probably not. But I can once you guys start asking those questions. It's Free Fun Friday. I want you guys to have fun and enjoy. And we chop it up about anything. We could chop it up about anything. We could crack jokes, laugh, cry, share good stories, bad stories, cruising, military stories, whatever it is. So that's why I'm able to talk to the empty screen right now, because hopefully once you guys see this and watch this and view this, then you guys will come on next Friday and start sharing, and we can start growing this channel the right way. So I'm going back to my roots. I've been talking about cookie cutters and 10 reasons why you shouldn't do this, 5 reasons why you shouldn't do that, 8 things you should pack. Okay, if you guys want that, I can do it. I'm not going to like it, but I do it. Okay. But I would prefer to have that intimacy, because when people see that, that's so generic. It's not authentic. You know why? Because you can click on what to bring on a cruise. Okay. You can type that in, what to bring on a cruise, right? You get 50 people that say the same shit. Okay. How's that helping? How's it helping? It don't make sense to me. But at the same time, if you go to Ready4AllTravel and you say, Richard, what should I bring? You know what I'm gonna say? Man, look, we pack the house every single time. So I can't tell you what to bring, but at the same time, just make sure you bring your essentials. Toothbrush, swim trunks, and then whatever theme nights they have. Something to sleep in, shower shoes. I'm gonna break it down simply. So then you won't be. It's like being hot, if you know what I'm saying. And then they'll say, go down to the link below and click on it. Well, you're in there shopping. Excuse me. Now you're in their shopping cart. Now you're purchasing their recommended items, and they're getting a cut of that also. So not only they're getting a cut from YouTube, not only they're getting a cut, now they're also getting a cut from the items that they're hawking. Okay? I don't want to do that. Okay? I want you to enjoy now, do I get a cut from once you book with me? Of course. I don't do it for free. But the point is that I give it to you up front. I'm not going to tell you what to bring. I'm going to give you an advice on what you should bring. Okay? I'm not going to hawk anything. I'm not going to say, this is the best cup. We use this cup all the time. You should purchase this cup. Go down underneath and click on the link below, and you can get this cup also. No, that ain't me. After the watch, people, same thing. You can see the same cookie cutters, 10 mistakes I made in the military. Something blew up, stuff like that. So you'll see that too, right? But you're not getting that one-on-one. This is what I did. This is what happened to me. The good, the bad, the ugly, the funny, the sad. This is what you're getting a more impressionable experience with me talking about my military journey. The dumb. So then you can say, why did you do that? That was dumb. Well, that also was a 21, 22, 23, 24-year-old that did those dumb things. You see, learn from it and they're sharing it with you because obviously I survived it. Okay. I think that's better than just watching a page, but that's just my perspective, so hopefully when you guys go back and watch these videos, instead of just clicking on, because the algorithms show that you guys are watching. It shows. But the thing is that the timeline, like for travel page, we've been on for an hour. For After the Watch, we've been on for 54 minutes. The average person is not going to watch that long. They're going to watch for an average of 2 minutes. That's what I'm averaging right now, 2 minutes. But that's fine. Because hopefully within that 2 minutes, I say something that's so profound that you guys be like, you know what, I got to check this guy out. You see. So, am I expecting it? Eventually. Do I count on it? No. And it's not because I'm selling myself short. It's just that the time duration, eventually people will understand and like, share, and subscribe. Right now, it's just about getting people. Now, like I said, if I did something sensational, if I did something stupid, or if I did something like jump off the top of a house, then yeah, I get 1 million views. If I was to run down the street butt ball, I'm crazy. Yeah. Sensationalism. That's what y'all like. But education could care less. Sensible conversation. Nope. Looking for that dramatic, bam, shock value. Howard Stern stuff. You're looking for that craziness. But that's not me. Like I say, we laugh, we chop it up, we have a good time. We listen to jazz music. We have our favorite beverage of choice. And we talk about either travel or my military experiences. Like I say, hopefully next Friday, Free Fun Friday, will be even better. But don't think I'm discouraged because Free Fun Friday is still going to go in effect. And throughout the week, like I said, I'm changing the format up. I'm going to start doing more reaction videos. And I'm going to also be doing more interviews. Well, not more interviews. I haven't done any interviews. I'm going to be doing interviews. Hold on. I'm going to be doing interviews and, get a different perspective from different viewpoints of people as well. So, yeah, that's going to be the new format. That's how we're going to do things. I spent a lot of money on all this equipment and doggone it, I'm going to put it to use. That's right. I'm going to put it to use. So like I say, like, share, and subscribe. You know what it is. I'm trying to make sure I touched all bases. Like I said, to the young man that I spoke to at the Taco Bell today, I really wanted to talk to you about your future, young man, because I think you got a bright one ahead of you. It's all about what you put into it, though, at the same time. Don't let those people don't let those people at Taco Bell discourage you from being a success. You may be well on your way right now, and I hope so. And if you are, then I commend you on your decisions that you're making in life. But don't let them dictate who you are as a person, because I have friends and people that if I have followed in their path, I have family members. If I had followed in their path, then who knows where I would be. I know one thing for sure. I wouldn't have the kids that I have. We don't agree on a lot of things, but we don't disagree on a lot of things either. We're kind of neutral. But it's the fact that they know right from wrong and they know that their father loves them dearly. We don't have to talk all the time. I would prefer more conversation. But I understand that they're out there making, they're carving their niche in life. They're going down their path, their journey in life, and they know that their father is here whenever they need me. Now, from time to time, do they check in? Of course they do, and I check in with them. But I grant them that leeway to be able to be themselves because I know without a shadow of a doubt they're not doing anything illicit or illegal. Okay. Well, from I don't see it. Okay, so or I haven't got that phone call, so obviously things are looking good as far as I'm concerned. Would I like to hear more from them? Of course I would. As they get older and mature a little more, I'm sure I will. If I'm still around. But if not, guess what? They got these videos to watch too, and they can still draw from that and know that their dad loves them to death. Okay. So, like I said, I'm not going to take up no more of your time. I was, basically wanted to come on here for an hour on both channels and let you guys know the new format. Like, share, and subscribe. Tune in next Friday. We're going to get even better. We're going to keep growing this channel. Ready for all travel. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Also, at the same time, remember, we can't grow if you don't share. Okay. After the watch, same goes for you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate everything. Like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna get better. We're gonna get stronger. We're gonna change up the format. So don't be the news is gonna be discontinued for the time being. I'm gonna cut back on the AIs, and you're gonna see me for more that information. Like I said, I'm going to do a lot of reaction videos to start off. So probably Monday and Tuesday. The way the format goes is Ready for All Travel. I try to do Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. After the watch, I try to do Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So on top of all of the stuff that I do, I also get a lot that time for you guys as well. So I stay busy and I constantly upload this information to you guys. Like I say, does it get discouraging at times? Sure. Why? It's because I like I said before, I hold myself to the people that's been doing YouTube for 5 years. I hold myself in that status. The people that got 5, 10, 20, a million subs. Okay. That makes me drive to become better. It pushes me to keep going forward. So sometimes I get frustrated and I vent, but it's because of the passion that I have that I want to share for you guys. All right. So with that being said, Ready for All Travel. Thank you for watching, tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. After the watch, I greatly appreciate it as well. You guys know how it is. So I don't have a great catchphrase for after the watch just yet, but you stand relieved, carry on smartly. Ready for All Travel, you always know what I do. Are you ready? And as always, may your path be clear, your sails steady, and your ventures extraordinary. From all of us, which is me right now, from After the Watch and Ready for All Travels. Love you guys. I love you guys. All right, go ahead now. I took up an hour. It is what it is. We're going to get better. We're going to get stronger. We're going to get, we're going to make it do what it do. All right. Yeah.